See if any chat comes in. For those who watch this after the fact, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about some of what I got going on. Working on casting index. I know a lot of collectors look at different pages, websites, and there's different ways to get to the information. So I figured I'd add an additional way to find your favorite cars by the casting name. Uh, Still trying to play with it a little bit. Obviously, um, I want to get all this situated. I want to put all the names that share the same name, or have multiple names uh, with it. So no matter where you go, if they have different names, they'll lead you to the same casting. I'm not sure if I want to put all the names like in a bulleted format, kind of like this, um, and then like a sub bullet with the other names with it, so that like this name goes with all these other names that are for the same casting. So, um, or maybe just have the listing of this, and then if that's the one you're looking for, you click on it, and then you'll reveal that hey, this casting has different names for it or something like that. Um, there's a lot of back end stuff that has to happen to link all this stuff together in a sense, to provide some more of that functionality, I guess. So if anybody's out there knows how to do some of that stuff, maybe I'll hire you. Because uh, yeah, there's a lot going on. Like this even here, you have formatting and trying to put this in alphabetical order. Obviously, I just typed this in. This is PowerPoint, so I just created this from scratch. But on the website, I would want this to pull the names, so I don't have to come in here and update the names and update all the links. It should provide a all the names, and then you click on the say the 31 doozy, and it comes up with all the casting. So um, there's a lot with the number or the year stuff, which I'd like to break out to format that to get this like 63 Corvette to be in line with 1960s, 65 Chevy Impala. So I even know my note over here even says that like hopefully we could figure out how to program that without me having to go into each of the cars, at least with the years in front of their name, to add a separate name. So like 1931 doozy, but it displays obviously as that, but it puts it in that placeholder. So it could be a potential. I mean, there's not a whole lot. There's probably about 200 cars, maybe if I had to guess, that have numbers like this. Maybe not even that much. It could be a little less. So I'd have to open up all of those and all the variations. So all the doozy variations, create, add that casting index name, basically what all it's be used for, so that it could be put in here in the right order, and then then you just have it show right this name instead of the name that it's sorting by. I don't know. There's a lot to do, so it's kind of tough. We have to figure that out, but that's for the developer part. That's what I pay him for. So, but this kind of stuff that I work on to try to get the website into a better position. I'm trying to get my brother on board so that we can put some more funding towards the auction house, because that's going to be another piece, and then a guide section. I think the guide section is going to cost a couple $1,000s in development fees, but I think it'll be extremely useful for the collector, um, so that you can print out your own specialized guide. So I got to create that, send that to them. So this is the type of stuff like I break all this down. If we were to actually go into the slideshow itself, see if I remember how to do that. Here we go. Let's see. I'm not sure what it's showing, but if we went into here, you can click on the year and click on. I only got the first two kind of done with examples, but this would take you to each of those names. So let's see. I think we got to escape. Um, so I have all that functionality built in, just the PowerPoint slide, but that's that's for them. I mean, this part would be easy. All the alphabetical names would, all the letters would be easy. So A alphabetically would go, with all the names with starting with A and whatnot. So that stuff's easy. The year is probably the most complicated. The number, not so much. You just have to weed out the years out of that number, or maybe I just combine them and let them go in any order in the beginning, and then we figure out how to do that stuff later on. So, but I'm open to suggestions um, on this or anything on the website. Let's see if I have the website up. I got lots of things open, so there's my email. Probably shouldn't show that, but all right. So here is where we're at now. So I would probably put maybe that in here. Like instead of this text that I have here, probably put casting index in this position so that you could click on that. Although if you type anything in the casting name, so like let's say you're looking for 31 doozies, right? You type in 3 and there's 31 doozies because it's somewhat in alphabetical order or alphanumeric order. So you can get to this fairly easy that way. I just know other people like to see lists of cars and whatnot. Um, let's see what else is there. Like if you wanted the 25th anniversary Lamborghini, right? You type in 25, you can get to that. But you can also see any other thing that comes with the 25 in there, and then these like custom Corvette or custom uh, Countach is attached to the same as the 25th anniversary Lamborghini. It's just a secondary name, so it comes up. All your extra names come up. So that's why you see different names that don't have that 25 in there. But I think this is fairly robust. But I know people like to see things in different formats, so just creating a simple format that has that, I think, is helpful, right? If you want to look at anything that has an H in it. um, oh, and then let's just do like the Holden or something. So HOLD, and that gets you all the different cars that have Holden within their name. There's two different castings that are fairly similar, but have at least one variation has that Holden name in it. Um, so like that comes up. But like I said, I'm open to whatever we can do to make this website more user friendly and helpful. So this is all under the locator. So if you come to MVPHW or MVPHotWheels.com, you'll have this view here, and then I'm going to change this forum to the guides. So when you click on this in the future, this will go to create guide. You'll have to be a member to get the be able to create the guide, and there'll be a low cost, $5 for the first 50 cars and a couple cents a car after that, or something simple, just to pay back the development fees basically for the service and whatnot. Um, but super cheap. So if you wanted to have a list of all your 57 Chevys, then you could create that. You could put in the different types of information. So if we bring up 57 Chevy here, right now I got 52 variations in there, but I think if you add all of the code 3 cars and stuff, you'll be over probably 200. Um, but I would like to customize this so that you could, if you didn't want to include the code 3 cars, if you didn't want to include some of the other stuff, if you only wanted to include the cars that you have in your wanted, right? So like for me, I don't have a red line initial casting or for this or variation. I could add the just the wanted cars to that list that I'm looking for and print that out. What's going on, Walter? So we're trying to make that as nice as you can, or as information, plus maybe having a checkbox um, in the guide for you if you're looking to collect it. You could add that in as an option. The type of um, goodness, I don't know what I'm thinking of. Description. So this is the short description that I've added, and if you go inside here, there's a longer written out description. You can have that. Um, so those are things I'm thinking of on the guide. If you just want the wheels, maybe we can put it so you could just select the wheels or the base. I don't have any way of sorting out the information that's different specifically yet. I'd have to go in and add all those fields with this information down to that granular level to do that, something like that. But I think if you did the short description, or I mean, you could just use the picture and have use it as a visual tool. Maybe different size pictures or something. I don't know. We'll figure out a bunch of different ways, and we'll listen to what people are requesting to see if we can make some positive changes. But I got to get the whole format. So like I said, I do all this in PowerPoint. So here's the what I'm building for the casting index again, just in case you want to see it in different ways. So there's that. The auction setup is going to be completely linked to the locator. And if we go back to here, so if you're in here, what I'd like to do is, if you were to want to sell a red line 57 Chevy down here, if you were a subscriber, you would have the buttons that show that that's part of your collection, which I could log in. We can do that real quick. Go back into 57 Chevy because that'll give us those buttons here. 7 Chevy. Right, so now you have your collection buttons and your trade button. So when you come in here, for you as a non-admin person, they'll be right here, but we'll add another button that says add to auction, and that will port all of this information and some of the details information, potentially any comments, so that information is available on the auction, and then the only thing you would have to do is add your pictures of it, so basically show the condition so that when somebody's looking at it, they can determine if that's the condition that they're looking to buy in. And then a starting price and a shipping information. And I'm sure as we put more money towards the auction setup, we'll be able to include shipping setups so that you could save your shipping. Kind of like what eBay and some other companies they do on theirs. Kind of have that built in. It's a function of USPS, and maybe we can add UPS or FedEx or something. I don't know. I've never done all the background stuff on that, but I'm sure it's been done before. So just figuring it out or letting the developer come up with it and doing like an API plugin or something. But anyways, that would put the information in there. It's going to have the description title would be 57 Chevy, and then this information would basically show just like what the locator looks like, except for instead of these buttons over here, you're going to have highest bidder, you're going to have the highest bid, you're going to have when it's going to end. So if it's 6 days away, it'll say 6 days. If it's less than 24 hours, it'll display the hours. If it's less than Um, 1 hour it'll display the minutes and stuff like that. So, you know, but it'll be in the same format so you can use the locator. The other thing that'll be good for it is it will, if you have added it to your wanted list, so say, the Redline 57 Chevy is in my wanted list, and somebody uses this format to add an auction, it will alert me via email. But once we get the app will alert you and its basic notification functions. And so that will, obviously be helpful for the seller and the buyer. The other thing is, we'll provide, you know, kind of a seller's list, right? So picture this list. Let's put everything in here. If you go to keyword search and just put a space in there, that'll bring up all the cars. Um, so if you were a seller, this top car would basically show you that, we'll say this is the most wanted car, just for perspective. But so say the Beatnik Bandit with Spectre Flame, Aqua with the USA base and everything was, wanted by 1,000 people, right? This would be the number one car. So if you had this and you wanted to sell it, you would know how many people are going to get a notification for it. And then you could use, obviously the filter to filter out that list. It won't tell you who wants it. It just tells you how many people want it. And that way, if you went into the seller's list and you had cars that you wanted to prioritize what you want to put on the auction house, this would tell you how many people are going to get notified, so that it's a priority for a seller. That if you're looking to try, kind of kick off, start making money on the website, the auction side of it, that it will give you the priority because it's going to notify obviously that many people. And if you do it in order of the number of people you're wanting, obviously that will, you know start getting, the most attention, and will probably give you the most money for your car that you're wanting to sell. So good thing for the buyer, good thing for the seller. And that is, one service we're looking to start providing. It's halfway built out now, and so we need to finish up the other half of it and get it linked. If you were to come into these cars, we're on the locator side now. As a locator side, if you come into this, there's this RVP, and I can manually change all this right now, but the idea is that the auction would provide a value for the car, right? So, and maybe on this view here down below, we'll put like past auctions so that you can see the condition of the car and the value of it. And we'll try to keep, mostly fairly decent examples, as part of it. So we'll go in and look. Well, I'll go in at closed, or completed auctions and look at the condition. And if it's above, we'll say like a C7 or 8, very many, like no chips or very minor chips on, like some little bit of edge wear or something like that, some tarnish on the base or something, or in this case maybe it's a little bit of toning, right? Like that will be acceptable. But like, if it's, weight definitely like C5 and below or something, we'll I'll disregard that value. But I'll keep it up here and say, like next to it, like disregarded, just because the condition of it really affected the value of the car in mint condition. But all that would be here, and that would just be information that came from the auction. Um, so, no human interaction other than, somebody just looking at the condition and disregarding it. Or maybe even we just let you disregard it, right? Like say you're wanting to look at just the perfect ones, and you come down here and be like, oh, okay, that wasn't perfect, you know check that off, just or remove the check, to provide it into the value, and so that, it can, provide you a more accurate reflection of the condition that you're looking for. I think that would even be better. I'm glad I just came up with that. That's why I'm, putting this stuff out there. I'm just kind of talking it over and making sure that I have my thoughts out there. And but so that would be the value. That's where this would be in the middle. This rarity is correlated to the larger needle here. So rarity 0 to 9, that would be um, in relation to the number of cars that have sold. So if you were to, this car here would be probably rare consider compared to, a fresh case of 2025 cars that came out, right, or anything in the last 20 years or something like that, right, with the exception of obviously some tough and hard to find variants of cars, but overall it's to be somewhat rare considering its age. um, so that would be your rarity against all cars that are being sold on the auction. And then popularity would be a time frame, the latest time frame, last 3 months, last 6 months or so, that if it were to start increasing in sales, like a percentage increase from say $20 to say $40, like if it doubled, that would definitely be within the scope. Or if it went from one sale every you know 3 weeks to two sales every week, that might be an increase in popularity for that particular vehicle, right? And you could probably see that like on the new stuff. So we'll use like the purple 83 Silverado, like right now that's pretty popular, right? So that might be swinging over to a 9 on the popularity scale. Again, it's at the bottom, so it's not like a huge thing, but it just tells you that, hey, if right now it's popular, so the value may be up more than what it is normally. And you could see that like when the hot bird craze kind of took off there a couple years ago, right? Hot birds, were fairly steady, and then all of a sudden just completely jumped up. That would have been a time where the popularity of that particular vehicle would be a little, well, a lot higher than normal in that case. So that's what that's meant for. But this would all, like I said, come from information from the auction house. So we'll work on getting all that, and then we'll, like I said, I think it would be a good idea to put a list of the auctions down here with a way to check them off if you don't want them to be used in the calculation for what the RVP gauge is showing. So, and that's just rarity, value, popularity is all the RVP stands for. Just kind of went with the MVP, so we kind of just recreated the logo there with that. So we'll probably do something a little bit nicer. This was all on a black background. That's why this kind of looks funky now, because this should be a black background here. But we just need to go back and change it. So this car doesn't have any particular the links thing here. Obviously, this will take you to all the castings. So here's all the Beatnik Bandit castings I've put in so far. If we were to go to another car that has part of a series, or we could type in a series like Super Chromes. This will bring up all the Super Chromes cars, and if you were to go on inside here, you'll see there's a series button now, and that will tell you that it's part of that series. And then the link will also take you to all of that series, so all the cars in that series. So again, we're back at the same point we just started at, but just to put some of that in there for clarity on all that kind of stuff. If it was in a 5-pack, let's see if I remember a car we put in. I think the Dodge, if I could spell, Viper, and the yellow. I think I put in 5-packs. We'll see. I did not. Let's see, what else could I put in a 5-pack recently? I guess I could go on here. Reset, select category, multi-pack, and then get into some of these newer ones down here. So like this one, Double Demon, I put in. So here you can see the multi-pack shows you the information for the multi-pack, the package number, number of cars in that pack, market it was sold to, and then in the links, this will take you to the multi-pack cars that are in there. So I don't have all the variations yet, as I just put this one particular package in. but there's all the cars in there. So more complex, stuff we put on the background to get all this to kind of to work out. Um, what I like to do is change out that when you select a category like multi-pack in this case, that instead of car name it has multi-pack name, and if you did playset, um, that would show you a playset name, and you can see there's no car information. There shouldn't be any base or nope, didn't mean to click that. Let's go back to that. Or any wheel filter. You can see there's nothing here, so those should go away. Um, but that way you're searching through the you know playset information. So maybe we could add like the playset number. So if we go in this, click on the playset, you can see here the playset number, and this one's 9511, and the type is a stow and go. That you could maybe search through that kind of stuff as well. So it just takes some more formatting of the filter when you're in those particular things. But I also would like to, when it comes up, this would be automatic. So that you have to, there's always a selection here. It'll always be a loose car, but then if you wanted single pack, like most of this will be the same because I put all that information in for it. But once you get into, like I said, the multi-pack, this should change. There shouldn't be any more car name. That should be package name. Won't be any base filters. Won't be any wheel filters. Series, because multi-packs could come in a series. So that would still be available. Keyword, of course, and then your scale would be available. So, yeah. I hope that my video is sound. I didn't even think about that. Oh yeah, it's got sound. All right, cool. So I saw Walter. Anybody else on and watching still? Looks like I got one viewer. I wonder if it's me. um, but lots of things I want to do to bring this into a website for the hobby. Um, Down the road even further, I would like to add a setup that you could do live auctions from. So instead of worrying about the you know the Facebook setup and all that, having an actual live auction uh, program where I think what I'll do is I'll have the slots available a week ahead, and you can uh, bid for the slot. I think it's the best way to do it. Um, and then up until a certain point. So say like a week ahead, you bid up for the slot you want, and the winner gets it. And then what that allows is that during that time you'll be able to have that live video slot, and it will have a bidding section. So at the top it'll tell you what the high bid is, who the highest bidder is, or the name that you use for your login, and it'll update, and then it won't be the seller that you're relying on for whose bid got in first. Basically, you'll enter the bid, it'll show up, and if yours got in before somebody else to the system, it just automatically will put that bid. If somebody else puts in a bid that already has been bid, it'll just say you're somebody beat you, or something like that. And then once maybe be a timer, right, since each bid, so maybe like a minute or 2 minute timer to kind of give people enough time. There's always going to be some type of lag depending on their internet speed, so provide enough time on that. But then once the timer is up, it'll count down. It'll say 2 minutes to zero. It'll turn red, and that'll kind of indicate to the seller to kind of keep on. Like, all right, you know, sold, and he can hit the sold button, and it'll automatically tell you who the highest bidder is, um, and that way it kind of takes a lot of that off of the seller, so that people aren't frustrated with the seller if calls it too soon, or misses the bid, or you think you got your bid in and he has to. Some of them have a tablet and they pan over and like, look, this is what I got, and then some are people trust them and stuff. But if a new guy pops on, and you have somebody that thinks he's somebody else's bid is getting in there, but he's not calling it the right way, this will just do it automatically. But it takes all that out of there. So, and then at the end, for the seller, what you get with the service that you paid for bidding on that slot, you would have a printout and all the totals for each person, um, you know, what they owe, and it would send out the bill to all those people via the MVP website, and then it would show you who's paid, who hasn't paid, and all that kind of stuff. And plus, we would be able to keep track of who's paid and who hasn't paid, and we'll have obviously some rules and regulations. Non-payment after 48 hours, without the seller giving them a extra, say 24 hours or something like that, up to a certain point. I think that would be nice, because there's circumstances happen. But after that, you get there's a strike rule or something. Hey, you didn't pay. The seller had to end up relisting the cars or whatever, and you get 3 strikes and you're not allowed on the platform anymore, and that will keep um, most of the bad guys off of there at a certain point. Granted, there's gonna be a heartache to go through a couple of times, but like I said, after a while, it weeds that stuff out. And I have ways to, you know, ensure that they don't get back on just under a new username or something like that. So we will, help protect both the buyer and the seller. And there'd be obviously rules for the seller as well. So lots of stuff. I just want to provide a sound website for people, um, that they would go to, and that would eliminate the Facebook live sales and stuff, um, and whatnot. And I think you'll get a bigger audience. For I think the biggest audience I've been in on an auction so far is like 100, 120. And that's like extremely large compared to most of them are between 15 and 40. So hopefully that if you know there's a prime slot, so like Friday night at 8 o'clock or something is a prime slot. You might have hopefully a couple hundred viewers, regardless of them being in your group. MVP would take care of all that kind of stuff. So and then you'll get obviously more money for your cars and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's a win-win for everybody. We just have to figure out how to develop it. um, but that way, people who like doing the live sales can continue doing the live sales, and it becomes a better product for them, and a better experience for both the buyer and the seller. So another way down the road, depending on how soon funds come in from the regular auction and the guide stuff, and subscription. Um, so, but if you guys have any questions, feel free. Like I said, I'm trying to add whatever I can into this. If there's things that you would like to see, um, I'd like to see different views on here. I think that would be pretty cool if you just had maybe the picture view, and then you could click on that. I do want to get to a point where instead of having so many. So like we'll use the 57 Chevy for example again because I know there's a bunch of them in there. That it would only show the main, like one variation of this instead of two. So the red line and the black wall, um, it would show the red line, um, and and then have like a plus sign so that you know that you could expand this or open it up to see those variations. That way, like in this case, you've got the two red, we've got both black, we've got two red metal flake. So hey, what's up? And that way it kind of skips. Like there's all those yellows, right? So it would just show the one, and then those would all nest underneath it, and you'd be down to the blue one. And there's four there, right? You get some of these, are quite a few variations of them. So that's one thing I would like to see added. So we got to figure out how to develop that part of it. For cars that have multiple names, um, like Street Beast, right? If I type in Street Beast, you can see here we've got two names because Street Beast isn't the normal name. But if I click on Street Beast, the Monster Vet comes up, right? Because as the tattoo series, it was called Street Beast. The Race Bait 308 comes up because down in the 90s, if we go to the next page here, it was called Street Beast. So we get down here, we're getting closer. Oh, passed it somewhere. Where did I miss it? I thought I had it. Oh, there's Hot Wheels name for our Race Bait 308. I thought I had it on here. I do have all of them, right? Must have been on the last page. But anyways, the Ferrari 308, the BMW M1, you've got it as Street Beast, I think in the next window. Street Dog, here you go, Street Beast. And then you got what was named Street Beast initially, and then later turned into the Swing Fire. But anyway, so what I would like to do, so there's four castings that have that name attached to it. I would like to show the first one of each of those castings, and then you select which one casting you want from that particular name. So if you were to choose Street Beast, you would have the first variation from each of those four castings, and then you click on that, and then it gets to you that faster. Instead of if you really wanted the BMW M1 or the Wind Splitter or whatever the case is, that's the last one. Or even say the Street Beast, you have to go to the third page right now. And to get these isolated right now, you have to come in here and click on castings in the link, and that will give you all of the Street Beast or Swing Fire currently. But so that's another improvement I would like to add as well. So, but hoping you guys interact. If you got something you would like to add to this or have questions about the website, feel free to ask. Let me know what you guys are thinking, what could be added, and we'll see what we can do. So that's why this one's live. But I know it's late on Thursday and not many people are going to be up, but it's alright. Walter was asking me when my next live one was, and I was like, I got to put stuff together. And then I was like, you know what? We'll just do it. Who cares? So here it is. What else? There's not a whole lot. That was a lot to go with anyway. Giveaway opens up when we get 50 subscribers. So I think we got 8 subscribers right now, so 42 more to go. And we'll do a monthly giveaway. So that will open up. Currently, there's nothing on there. I did a couple in the beginning with 1 or 2, and a lot of people that I was giving them, giving them. So people that were given the subscription were winning and stuff like that, and I just couldn't keep up with the giveaways that way financially. The store has kind of some stuff in it, but that's not like it's not like Hot Wheels store. It's just more of like I got a shirt in there and maybe a ball cap in there, and maybe I don't even have the ball cap anymore. The videos is outdated. It's just easier to go to YouTube. But these are like my super old videos, some of my very early videos. So there's some of those. in this particular place. I was gonna put all of them on here, but I might just make a thing where like go to YouTube and use the YouTube search function within it. Um, so if I come over here and go to my own page here, let's see here. I know you can't see it yet, but I'll bring it over. MVP Hot Wheels. Click on my thing here. So here's the it'd be easier for you guys to get all that information because I have, I don't know, several hundred videos now. Doesn't even say, does it say? 380 videos. So putting all those in here, you can see how long that would be. That would be forever. Um, and you're probably just better off going to YouTube for right now at least. So look, there's the last live video. Um, so look, I've watched most of my own videos too. But so that's what that was for. So that's probably going to go away, and that's going to be something in the future. I don't know what yet. And then of course the auctions, which I don't think, yeah, there's nothing in here, so it doesn't really give you a whole lot. And then I need to do all the background for the auction. So if we come in, if you click on your username, you can see here you got the account information, your collection, my auctions and stuff. So if you're a subscriber, which it says up here, which we probably could remove that, but you would be able to go in here and check if you know your auctions that either you're bidding on or you're selling. So this obviously needs to be completely cleaned up. This, like I said, this is bare bones right now. This is actual listings of cars that I've put in. You can see where it says published, and not cars that I have necessarily sold. Some of these are tests that I put in as a sell. They should all be inactive. I don't know if it will show that. It didn't even say that. But like I said, this is all background stuff we're trying to incorporate. The collection. So I don't. This is my admin account, so I don't have any in the collection. I think I clicked on one on accident somewhere. Maybe not. But if you were a subscriber, this is where all those cars that you had in your collection would show up in that list. The filter would fill out, so you could use it. You could show all the cars in your upgrade. We changed the color so you know that if there's a yellow or a green or a red, right? Which one which page you're actually in. So, um, but you could also share this information with somebody else and they can't change it. So if you wanted to show, I guess your upgrade, sorry, your wanted list. So say there was a bunch of cars here in your wanted list, you could take this URL, copy it, and paste it somewhere in somebody in a chat or in an email or a text message or whatever, or maybe in the future notify somebody. I don't know. We'll have to see about that part, but on the app. But they'll be able to see the cars that you're looking for. You would send them your wanted list and then see if anything matches up. Maybe even in the future, if there was a way to connect people and do a comparison so that you could be like, all right, here's somebody's collection list and here's my wanted list, and it would go through and verify and see which ones that he had, or maybe his trade list. Sorry, we'll do the trade list and the wanted list because he's probably not going to get it. If you're like me, I don't give up any of my cars I don't have duplicates of, but I'm sure Walter has figured that out. He's busting me down for some tough cars. Um, but anyways, so if I had cars for trade and he had the wanted list, he could look at my cars for trade and match up the cars that are on his wanted list, and it would basically just show those, and then you could be like, all right, we could look at doing a trade. That would simplify the whole trading process tremendously, and I think that'd be pretty cool. So another feature that we could look at building into the system for it. But as far as your list now, if you subscribe, you can make your list and you could share those lists with people. You could share it with your collection. You could share it with your upgrade, your wanted, trade, whatever you're looking to do. You could share those lists, and they can't change them. And the view is going to look the same as the locator. So if we come in here and let's see, we'll do the Fiero just because we talked about it earlier. Right, you come in, click on that. You'll have yours. This will turn uh, green if you select it as collection. It'll turn yellow, red, blue, and that'll indicate whether you have it. On your phone view, it's below, because it's a different format for the phone view. Um, but they won't be able to change your buttons. They'll just be able to see that you have it in your collection and your list of collection. They'll all stay collected basically. Um, so there's some pretty cool. There's some tough variations. I need to add the other two Leo variations. There's a white one and a red one. I think there's actually three others. I gotta get all those added. So many Leos. So no questions, huh? Only a couple of people watching. I guess 3 concurrent viewers. It says. Um, so, but that was another aspect of it. Anything else you guys can think of? I know there's not many on here, but that you might want to add to the website. I'm not sure what the lag time is, so I don't know how long it'll take for your videos to come in. I guess sneeze. Excuse me. Take this out of the way. There we go. I think it passed. All right, good. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on. Some of the PowerPoint stuff here. Um, and as always, you always can reach out to me on Facebook and um, let me know your ideas. Because, like I said, this is a page or a website for the hobby. Um, you know, it serves obviously a purpose for me because I'll use it. I look at when I go to the convention and or different places to look at cars, especially Blackwall stuff, because that's mostly what I have in there now. I use it to see if I have some of those variations. Once you get into small, minute differences in the variations, I can't remember all of them. And if you buy a couple of them in a bulk, kind of a group, then that makes it even tougher for me. Um, but I use it quite a bit during those times. I know when the last convention I went to, Columbus, I was using it. My friend was using it right behind me, and it was it was great because it was just quick. You get faster at using it on your phone, get used to the view. It's a little bit different than me. I use almost always are on the desktop looking at it when I'm watching auctions on one monitor and looking up information from the website on the other one and seeing if that variation is in there. That's kind of like if I'm in one of your in an auction that you're in and you see me or request like a base view again, because I want to verify that I have that variation, at least the information in the website, so that all variations are listed. So, uh, so apologize if that's somewhat annoying constantly, but I want to make sure I have the most accurate data because people collect down to the very minute variance there. I know the Ferrari guys got the large and small Hot Wheels logos. They got the window vent, which I still have to go back and put all those variations in for the Ferrari Testarossa. So there's lots of different minute stuff. You get in the Porsche and you start looking at the rear axle, base variants and stuff like that, or the wheel arch variant on the front of the Porsche 930 or 911 turbo, and so it gets pretty crazy with variations. So I just want to make sure I have at least all the physical variations. The color ones are make it tough just because I'm always questioning. Okay, if I have a, we'll call it like a light blue compared to a medium blue, you know, which one do I have, and is the picture that I'm looking at do it justice to reflect, that it's the medium or the light blue. So those I have reservations about putting in. Um, and that's kind of why I do it. If I have both of them, I'll try to show it, the pictures of it, within each one of the actual listings, um, so that you can see that there's a difference. And if you're, a collector, to that degree, then you have an idea. It doesn't help you in determining which ones you have, but at least you have some information that they're out there. For tampo variations, that becomes a little bit more crazier, because I think as the color or the ink within the tampo system starts to get low, it starts to fade a little bit. Or if they put it on paint that hasn't completely dried and it kind of seeps into the paint, you find this with like white cars that they put, red tampos on. You'll see that some of them start to turn pink if they were put on too soon, and some other colors are obvious. Um, so it's stuff like that, that makes it really tough, because one side could have the pink variation of the tampo, and the other side of the car could be the red, because that side dried, quicker. There was, less thickness of a paint spray on that particular side for whatever reason or whatever, and it dried faster. So there's so many variables in the tampo stuff. So I try to avoid putting too many tampo color variations that fall in that category, if that makes sense. Um, so I got all kinds of things happening on Facebook now. But let's see here. Do I get actual questions? Oh, somebody found the Turbo Mustang on eBay, but it doesn't have the yellow interior. That's what Jason is sending me a message on. Um, so, but what else could I go on and ramble about in the video? Um, Hot Wheels room still needs a little bit more, but it's pretty much cleaned up. Um, so I could do some stuff down in there and do some videos probably down there. Um, I'm putting in the Hummers. Let's see here. Make sure I get this into view. Goodness, the lag is crazy on my computer here. So hopefully you guys see it before I do. But here is the this is just called Hummer, which kind of crazy. I have the last one coming in, so I've got 4 variations of them here. Um, this one's pretty cool. Got the flames on it. I got to take pictures of these, get those on, and I got 2 more coming, um, or 1 more coming, and then 2 are in the package. You got these. I got to take pictures of this. This is with the Hot Wheels logo, and that one is without. So I realized I didn't have those particular screechers in, so I'll get pictures of those. I got the descriptions in. I got to put the description of this screecher wheel variation in, and that should almost wrap up all of the screecher wheel variations. I have to put in the International Miata, so I'll do that also, and then that should close up um, the screecher wheel stuff. Um, Here, I'll make this a little bit bigger so it makes it easier to see. I could probably sit up. I didn't realize it was so low. I tried to adjust the camera in the beginning. Um, so put those in. Like I said, I gotta get pictures of those. And what else has kind of been going on? Obviously working on the truck. I tell you, pulling those spring hangers out is a pain. And what's more of a pain, because I don't have any torture or anything, is the spring bolt inside the shackle that holds the shackle to the leaf spring, is inside obviously a bushing. So it's in a metal sleeve, and then there's a rubber bushing, and then there's an outer metal sleeve. and the bolt is rust welded to the inner sleeve, and the inner sleeve is coming out with the bolt. Um, and I know that the outer sleeve is rust welded within the eyelet of the leaf spring, and therefore that would be a huge pain. Um, and the springs are pretty worn, and so I went ahead and bought a lift kit. So so that's how that worked out. After I put one side on, that side went smooth. The bolt came out as normal and everything. But so I bought a 4-inch lift kit for the 1997 Ford F350, um, and I'll probably be putting that in when it comes in, and the weather is still warm. Today was a little chillier today, but it was like 70 the last 2 days. So it was good days to work out on the vehicle. I still have the battery cable stuff to set up, but I think I'm gonna open up, pull the valve covers, and get into the uh, injectors on the Excursion, and change out the O-rings on the injectors and the standpipe and dummy plugs, and finish up because I gotta pull all that stuff, some of that out of the way to finish up the battery cable stuff. I gotta remove the piping for the turbo and intercooler and all that kind of stuff. So I figured might as well. Well, I got that off. It's just one step closer to putting in the O-rings, and I need to do that anyway. So that'll be another project that's separate from the Hot Wheels stuff that I'm working on. I still have a couple video requests. I got another one. So highway hauler, Peterbilt tank truck. What else do I have? I'll do these Hummers since they're up here, and I'll get those put in. Which is another, what was Mattel thinking? Why would you call this just Hummer? Like, you could have gave it like H1 or Hummer H1 or something. But Hummer is just a pain in the butt for my website. Because when you type in Hummer, like if we go back to that now, and I'll move my camera out of the way a little bit here. Right, you put in Hummer, you're going to have the first Hummer come up, and then you get into the four, like I said, I don't have the pictures in. So then you get into these ones down here. Same same name, different casting. What a pain. Why couldn't you couldn't come up with new names? So it is what it is. Another what was Mattel thinking kind of deal on that one, I guess. Names is always a hard thing for Mattel for some reason. And using different names for new castings. I don't mind you using a different name on the same casting. I understand that when they went through all the ultra hots and you had new names and they were cool and stuff. Like, I get that. That's fine. Just don't use that same name for a different casting. There's millions of names. Choose one of them. The worst one is the car named Hot Wheels. That's weird. How did letter getter get in here? I'm not even sure how that one popped up. There's got to be something in there. But the Tattoo Machine's Ferrari 308 name is Hot Wheels because it's got Hot Wheels tampos all over it. Mattel, what were you thinking? So, you see here, Tattoo Machines. I need to put in the other info for the series, like the name or the number, I guess, but yeah. They named the car on the package Hot Wheels. Ridiculous. Um, so those are things I'm working on. But that's pretty much it before I just start filling lots of blank space with rambling, which I've been doing for the last however long I've been on the video. Um, an hour. Wow, I've been on an hour? That's crazy. So, well, there you go. So there's what I'm thinking about doing with the website, what I've been working on. How I kind of do it, I build it all in PowerPoint, and then I send it to the developer, and then it's time for them to interpret my design and information and how I, and then they set out and start building it on the platform. So, but I'm gonna say platform because that's what I want it to be. I want it to be a multi, use area to go for Hot Wheels, and if it takes off and starts making money, maybe I can find a awesome Matchbox collector that is detail oriented as I am and pay that person to add all the information for Matchbox, and then you'll see MVP instead of HW. Um, so, yeah, big goals to provide to the community. And like I said, I love Hot Wheels, and if this was my day job, I wouldn't feel like I'm going to work. So, and maybe I can include some other fellow Hot Wheels enthusiasts that wouldn't mind moving to the Central Virginia area and have a kind of a cush job where they don't feel like they're working because they love the hobby as well. So we'll see how that goes. But that's the long term plan. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to put them down in the comments. Since I'm about to close this up anytime afterwards, I'll review them. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to see, and I'll try to find a way to add it. And yeah, so that's pretty much all I got. I will see you guys on the next one. Have a good night.